Penny Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds for more Deal or No Deal Island, episode 9. Kristin, Shane, and I are here for, I guess, what is sort of a funeral at this point, because we have to talk about the departure of our dear Dickson.
Yeah, I actually did not see this one coming. I really thought he had more in him, so this was a surprise. Like, if I had my mind at least set on it being a possibility, it'd be one thing, but I just did not see it coming. I mean, at a certain point, I was like, uh-oh, the signs are not looking good now. Like, halfway through, and they really showed so much of him. Like, he's had a big presence this season, maybe not as much with confessionals, but overall a big presence. But this episode was literally all him. And I was like, that's not good.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny because last week I was like, I'm predicting this being Parv. Like, it was set up so perfectly for this to be a Parv episode of her going out. And then the very beginning of the episode, we do see, like, not to jump into the synopsis of it, but like we do see David literally saying, "You're set up in a perfect spot. Like, you were good." And I remember unmuting literally as we're watching. I was like, "Oh God, nope. Dickson's going this episode. Dickson's going. You never say it. It's like a kiss of death." But then we had that moment because we thought maybe that David would have to choose between, or at least I was predicting that David would have to choose between Parvati and Dickson. And we see her struggling in the quicksand, and I was like, "Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is how those two are at the bottom." And he has, but no, just no. And I'm sad.
Yeah, I was like secretly hoping that Letty was going to lose to the banker last night, and I was like, okay, she is actually going to lose because I like her odds were not great, and then she passed it. I'm like, okay, Dickson's gone.
Yeah, I felt since almost like the beginning of the season that Letty's in the finale. And so when she's facing Banker, I'm like, there's no way. There's just, I mean, it was set up so throughout the whole episode that it was showing that Dickson was going to go home here. Like, even him, like, I want to play, I know in my gut I should be playing the bit, and I'm like, oh, he's done.
Yeah. I mean, you could even, well, we'll get there, but he tried to get.
He did. He did. Yeah, so I mean, somewhat of a sadder episode for us here on the podcast today, but I mean, let's just jump in here. I mean, kind of, I feel like this might be a shorter one because I don't feel like we really had much happen this episode.
Right. I feel like there's more character development than anything, and almost maybe like they're like, oh, we realized we didn't give Dickson enough confessionals, and this is our last chance, so let's bombard you with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we already know about the family and things like that, so they were just like everybody else. They were like, oh, let's just like randomly throw this in here, you know. Right. So
yeah, because I said this last night. I feel like Philip has kind of like died. Like, he was a fairly big presence, and now he's just nothing.
Yeah,
I feel like the whole thing with Parvati last week was like his last big moment, and since that blow up, like, he's just there. Like, even like, we're gonna talk about it, but even at a point where like he just kind of feels like he's just given up and kind of letting other people like determine his fate, because he goes up to David later. He's like, please don't put me up. And, David being super nice is just like, no, you don't have to worry tonight. So,
Oh, we're gonna get to all that.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna have more rants, but I mean, the beginning of this episode again is like very much character building. We see that Dickson and Letty had kind of some moments earlier on last week, and then we see the kind of the continuation of it this week, where this friendship bracelet, like, be it like flirtatious moment, like so awkward watching Dickson because I'm like, you make this so awkward, but it's like adorably like bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene, I liked it a lot, but I don't get it because I have so many questions. Like Parvati and David are just standing there watching, like, and Letty's kind of almost like in on the joke. So it was weird to me. It's like, did they just stage this whole thing? Is Letty just dumb and doesn't realize what they're doing? Is she just smart and playing into it? Like, what was happening there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It I don't know. It was awkward all the way around because like you see what Dixon's trying to do, and like knowing Dixon again, like we've been able to kind of had different perspective because of like knowing him and playing games with him. He is that like let me kind of worm my way in so that I have a backup plan to a backup plan to all these things. Um and to see him kind of like play this off like, God, I hate when they watch me like this. And I'm like, oh my God. But like Letty's all like, who, what, where? And I'm like, she's not even seeing through this, but okay, fine. Like, make this girl a friendship bracelet in life, and you're golden. She's just like all kinds of, foggy brain at that point.
Yeah. I really did not see the way this relationship was gonna play out. I actually thought Dickson was gonna kind of get away with things with Letty in the game, and it didn't pan out that way. And Letty, we'll get to her decision later, but yeah, I was a little bit shocked based on what happened in the beginning of this episode and kind of where that relationship ended up going.
Yeah, again, like I said, be prepared. There's gonna be some rants along the way, but we'll get through them. We'll
Yeah,
get through.
yeah.
Obviously, I mean, again, like not really much happened here in the beginning. We do get to our excursion, which,
Yeah.
man, oh man, am I pissed about this excursion. Um, I have a kind of a love-hate with this challenge. We do see that Dickson, because he was, vulnerable, they let him make the decision. They can pick between two red cases, which would be automatic safety, but also it comes with the risk of if you don't get across, then you're going to be, in the bottom. And Dickson automatically like goes straight for the red case. I don't know why he did that. We were watching last night. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I mean, obviously, when you're this close in numbers to the end, that guaranteed safety just like screams at you.
Yeah. I also think because it seemed like everyone had this reaction when they got onto the balance beam, they're like, uh-oh, this is a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, it was this big.
I feel like there was like an illusion or something where they thought it was going to be easier than it was. And I don't love that because if none of your competitors can even get across half of the balance beam, like what are you doing?
I know. So this is where I have this love-hate with this challenge because one, what's even the point of the balance beam? Just put them in the quicksand. But I mean, I get that they're getting them from a height to like get down into the quicksand, so I do understand that part. But my biggest pet peeve was you're supposedly giving Dickson this like advantage, right?
Right.
But if you've never been around quicksand, and obviously none of them have, but David. And it's funny because when we were watching it, I was even like, Dickson, start rolling. Like you have to be flat. Like you can't. The more you fight, the deeper you go. And so you want to be flat. I remember us when I'm watching, I'm like, Dickson, just roll, just freaking start rolling. And he just was getting himself deeper and deeper and deeper into that quicksand. But then he picks David to go next. And obviously I think that we see Letty over there going like, oh, hearts for you. And then he like picks David. She's like, oh, never mind.
I
But
think because Dixon in his exit interviews has said that he regrets this decision. If you put yourself into his shoes at the time, I think it was still smart because it's like you think your number one ally can achieve safety and have the power, which he
right.
did.
Right.
So you're fine because whatever you want to happen, he'll do. He'll either put you in or won't put you in.
Right.
It
Right.
backfired.
No, I think the thing here that I think where I have this love-hate relationship with this challenge is like his advantage didn't turn out to be an advantage at all because David goes in next and basically shows everybody how to get through this quicksand, which everybody does. Like if David doesn't do this, I think all of them struggle just like Dickson does.
Exactly.
So I feel like this advantage, it wasn't really an advantage at all. It should have been maybe like a you pick the order and you pick the briefcases of what people are going to pick, or something along these lines that is an actual advantage. Because going first in quicksand and you've never done quicksand before, of course you're going to fail. And the only reason why the other ones behind him succeeded is because they saw David.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
I hated that. Obviously,
I will say though that we're calling it an advantage, but like he didn't really earn an advantage. Just like, oh, you were the one that was up for risk last time. So if it was something like he won in a challenge in advantage, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is dumb. But it was more of an arbitrary thing. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't need to be an advantage.
Yeah.
No, I mean I get that too. I just like if you're gonna make a big deal about it, like I either just don't even have it. Just like let him draw. Like I mean, granted, CK will probably cheat again because she is what she is. But at this rate, then like just do that. Like there's no point to this.
Yeah. Well, we should get to the CK moment where we all thought she was going to get medevaced because she.
Swear to God, I thought that girl was dead.
Yeah,
I think she did go to medical because she had no confessionals this episode.
Yeah, she had to because I mean, all of us watching, all of our faces were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
For me, listen, I'm a little mean. I was also laughing a little bit, like, haha, bitch, like karma. But also at the same time, like, I'm pretty sure this girl just died. And like now she's like head first into quicksand. Like,
yeah,
this is all kinds of bad. Like, this is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I almost wonder, was she trying on purpose? This is mean, but was she trying on purpose to fall on her face? Because if she falls on her back, she has a flat ass and it's not going to cushion her. Or like, what was she doing?
I don't know. I think it was definitely a slip. Like, but I don't know. That's very dangerous challenge design. But I mean, we've seen it in Survivor before. Australian Survivor specifically sometimes doesn't have the greatest challenge design for some of them. Yeah, this challenge just wasn't well designed with the beam because that's freaky that they can just slip and
I mean, I don't mean to make light of this because, like, with how thick quicksand is and the way that she fell, she could have easily snapped her neck or, like, internally decapitated.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been horrible.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're not making light of this at all. Like, that was a serious, like, I was legit thought she died. Like, I was like, then like, underneath, I'm like, then, like, they have a medevac and so Dickson's safe. We're good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you look at like Australian Survivor and you look at George and Jackie in Heroes versus Villains, and they literally go over and go head first into like very shallow pool of muddy water. Like it's that kind of situation for this one. So, that it's very, very scary.
Yeah, I was definitely I wanted to see what was happening, but I also was like, I don't know if I want to, I don't know how I want to see her laying right now. So
yeah.
Glad she's okay. She's still trash and has a flat ass, but we'll move on. Going through, obviously, David does get the safety and has he got, well, let me rephrase that. Parvati got the safety. I mean, I know we're all shocked by this, but David had the higher case, so he was the one who was in control here. They did have a chance for all of them to pick up and kind of feel. Joe told them that the lower or the heavier cases had the higher amounts in them. I mean, David with like, come on, those muscles, like you saw Dickson try and he's like, oh shoot, that one's heavy. And Dixon's just like, oh, all right, I got briefcase, I'm ready to go, So it's interesting to see. I mean, I feel like that was a very setup for a David challenge to win here. But they do all get across, minus Dickson.
Which I mean, I think to your point, because Dickson picked David to go after him, he showed everyone how to do it. Pretty much.
For sure.
One thing that's interesting is it seemed like they only had to get their briefcase on that platform to finish. They didn't need to get there. Could
Right.
someone have just thrown their
Thrown
brief?
it. I know. That's what irritates. Again, like I have this love hate with this challenge because the point of quicksand is you guys want them to be stuck in quicksand.
Yeah.
So they should have to get their full body out and standing up on that platform. I mean, maybe not even standing up on the platform, just out of the
Yeah.
quicksand.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing about this challenge, which is a classic NBC reality TV show problem, those timers were so fake.
Oh my
There
God,
is
so funny.
no way these people were getting there
Well,
with
we
like
saw it
1
last week
second
too.
to
Like, come on.
spare.
It's like
Yeah.
last 2 seconds.
I mean,
Like,
Traders does this all the time. Like,
I
what's
know. It's like right now we're getting ready to watch Trader like going into Traders on this massive cliffhanger. Like we don't all know what's about to happen. Come on, NBC, do better.
Yeah, that's my thing with these NBC shows too, is it's just like it definitely seems like stuff is manufactured and just I don't know. I have more of a problem with Traders than Dondi though. I feel like I've at least enjoyed
Yeah.
Dondi more than I have Traders this season.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously we do see Parvati safe, David is in control. And then CK has the next highest case, leaving Philip and Letty, whatever the hell people want to say anymore. Yes, I'm still throwing shade because I'm still not over those idiots. But anyway, Letty and then of course Dickson because he didn't get his red case across. Um, which is interesting. I mean, this is the first time we've really seen Letty be vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
But also again, this is like this is where my rant's gonna start coming, but I'm gonna let you guys go first. We do see like Philip is just like at this challenge. Like you've done this to yourself. Like
Yup.
you have put yourself in this position. Like you were ride or die. Like you were great with Parvati.
Mhm.
You're the one who shut this door. You went in to try and have a big boy conversation, like I mentioned last week, and then quickly shut it down like a child throwing a tantrum.
Oh.
So like his whole like, oh, this is like PTSD. Nobody picked me on the on the playground for kickball. Like, shut up, shut up. You would have been picked, but you've done this to yourself. And then of course, so now in front of everybody, oh, he's picked last, boo hoo. And now he's in the bottom, and he's just sitting there like, I'm in the bottom. Oh, like of course, and then you're gonna go to like David at the beach, and you're like,
Beg him to not pick you.
I really just I can't do. I don't have it. Oh, shut up, please shut up.
You can't do it when it's literally picking numbers.
Like
Yeah.
I literally, I'm over this like woe is me bullshit because you are a grown ass adult. You had the chance. You have the chance still to go talk to these people, but no, you're gonna go sulk in the corner like we mentioned already. It's like he's sitting there like he's basically given up and died. Well, then go home and let Dickson sit there and play because you're an idiot. Like nobody wants to see you anymore.
Right.
Over it.
At
Philip,
this
do better.
point, I feel like he's just gonna go. It's a double elimination next time. He's just gonna go in that and like fade away into the background.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll cry a little bit more about it on his way out. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I think it's Philip going next week and possibly CK, and then we get a David, Parvati, and Letty final three.
Well, I'm not giving my predictions anymore because obviously I've been very wrong. I definitely
Yeah.
thought Parvati was going this week, so I'm like really mad. But I do see David being in the finale, like for sure.
see
I don't
David
see any way
winning.
that David is not sitting in this finale. He does great at the excursions to make sure he's safe. Like he's a powerhouse. Like there's no way that he's not sitting in this finale. So
Right.
now if he goes, like I'm gonna be like, my good job NBC for like getting us off of that thought process
Oh yeah.
because that's
Yeah,
I
great.
truly think he wins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a way where he doesn't here, but moving into obviously we're sitting at the beach. Dixon's dealing with a little backlash, like instantly, like they're washing off the quicksand, and Letty is just laying into him. I mean, I think Philip even like had a one liner, but it was so like, woe is me that you didn't even pay attention to it. You would have thought it was a breeze over the ocean because it was so stupid and inconsequential. But Letty's just laying into him here, and
Yeah.
Dixon's like, oh crap. Like, oh crap. Obviously she did kind of the scare tactic that Lachelle tried to do as well. But I'm believing her. Like, I don't know what David was thinking. Like, I'm taking Dickson out. Like, if you're putting me up, I'm taking Dickson out. Like, she said this multiple times, and like, it wasn't like a bullshit tactic, which trust me, I'd be trying these things too to not go up against the baker. But also at the same time, like, I think I would prefer to go up against the banker because then I get to have a say. If I go home because I made a bad deal, that's on me, not because somebody takes me out.
Right. I think the interesting thing about this too is that earlier in the season, they kind of showed scenes with Letty and other people saying it too, that like Letty is playing a very honest and straightforward game and she doesn't want to lie. And if she says something, she wants to follow through.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was kind of like foreshadowing this moment coming.
Yeah.
But I found it really interesting in a good way. And I like this when David was just like to her, look, we both have the same end goal here. I know what you want. You know what I want. We want CK going home. You're telling me you're going to send Dickson because you want me to not put you up and you want me to put Dickson up. But like, what's best for your game is what's best for my game. And it's the same thing. And it's taking out CK.
Right.
But I feel like Letty still just wants, she has this image of how to play the game for her. And she's like, well, I said it, so I need to do it.
Yeah.
Even though
I don't necessarily agree with that though. I think that this was like not like, oh, I like because I want to be honest and I said it, I can't go back on my word because then people are gonna think I'm not honest. I think this is her literally just having again an emotional tantrum.
Mm.
I mean, she's listen, I know we're gonna like I don't want to get too far ahead
We
because
will go.
let's do Temple first and I'll get my rant. My rant will go. But yeah, I mean we do see obviously we get to Temple where David he stands up there, he's like, Dickson, you've already been up against a banker, and Dixon's like, I'll go again. I'm good. I will go up again.
You can see him like giving the thumbs up.
Yeah, he's like before he even says anything, he's like, yeah, pick me. We do see that he's like, well, Letty, I'm gonna put you against the banker, and he's like, I mean, I can still go up there, like, and even Joe's like cutting it off, and I'm like, damn, Dickson really had to go up there.
I think the editors really had to play around with that scene to cut out Dickson so much because from what he said on his exit interviews that I listened to today, he was begging hard, like hard at that temple.
Well, and we do see the confessional leading up into Temple where he's like, I know in my gut, like normally, like I try and follow my gut, but like my gut is like screaming, basically. I'm paraphrasing his confessional, but basically like screaming that I have to play here. All these like signs of like a Dickson going on, like all of these little moments that we're like through as the episode progresses, we're like, yeah, we're screwed here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Jake, Shane, like you're David. Do you put where you have to weigh the risks here, right? Like, do you hope that she's rationally thinking, or do you like and pray that she's not going to act like a tantrum throwing child, or do you like put Dickson up where he could go home? I mean, here's my thoughts on it. It was kind of like the Parvati thing. Like, I know you don't want Dickson to go home, but like they're all after the family here, so at least let him try and do this so that you guys can keep control. Because he's going to go home regardless, whether he goes out by the banker or I mean, by the bad deal, or somebody takes him out. So at least let you guys stay in control here. So I'm not really understanding where Parvati and David are seeing this. Like, I get where you're coming from. You want Dickson to stay, but you're not going about it the same way. So you guys are David. Where do you go?
I really think at this point, like if you're David, and again, we're not in his position, but from what I see, I think you have to put Dickson in. I think even in any situation, if you think you're going home or your allies going home and you don't want that, you need to put them in.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the name of this game because it's luck either way.
Right.
But it's at least on the luck here with Letty, like if it's bad luck, she goes home. If it's good luck, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like put that power in her hands. Yeah, so I guess I can get where David's coming from because he's like, oh, I really think she'll make a bad deal. Like, don't worry about it. But yeah.
But you can't run that risk that if you want your person to stay, like you just because they're gonna go home regardless. Like if you think that that's gonna, you know what I mean? You have to play. For me, you have to play to the bad. You have to play to the bad deal, like of the worst case scenario here.
Yeah. Unless, and I'm just speculating here, but maybe he just would feel so bad about like, hey, if I put you in and you lose, I sent you home basically, and he doesn't want to say he did that, but in this case, he
sent him home because he put Letty in.
Like basically, still did. Like Letty did it, but he sent him home.
Yeah.
Jake, who are you? David here putting Letty in, or are you putting in Dickson?
Putting in Dickson. I think like at that point, like I'm not taking the risk of Letty eliminating him, and literally Letty's been straight up completely, so I believe that she's going to do it rather than somebody else who's said like it's different between, you know, Letty's style of playing and Dr. Will's style of playing. Dr. Will could lie to you all day. Letty's gonna be this honest person as she claims.
Yeah.
So yeah, put Dickson in, give him the chance again to save himself, and put your alliance, the family, in the majority there. And I don't even think this is a good move for Letty at all. She's being way too emotional. Like I think she keeps Dickson in, and like Dickson might not just go to the end with Parvati and David. He said it. So I mean, like, I just think she made a really bad move, a bad deal, as you could say.
Because yeah, I think like at least yes, Dickson sort of turned his back on her, whatever. But they still had seemingly a working relationship where Dickson was willing to work with her, where CK, it seems like their relationship's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like
Also, she just did the same thing to him. He's given her these moments, and she's flat out like thrown him to the wolves, if you will. Like she. So how are you mad at Dickson right now? Like, go throw rocks, you idiot! Like,
no, she sucks at this game. So
such a bitch. Oh man, I can't wait to get to my.
Apparently she's not good at a lot of things because she's like calling herself a WWE wrestler, but when I looked it up, it said she went to some like tryout camp and like couldn't do it. So she was never even a wrestler. She wasn't even in like the development territory of it. So I'm like, what are you doing here?
No shit, receipts. Shane's showing up with receipts. No, I'm just kidding.
It's on her Wikipedia that she probably wrote herself too. So it's not like
boy.
I always say if these players end up watching our podcast, we're gonna be so screwed. But that's okay.
She said her own stuff, so
yeah. No, what?
We have the receipts. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's not our problem. She sucks.
Right. So let's get to this deal of it all because I'm just like bursting to get my rant out here. Obviously, she makes a good deal. She immediately she is just such I have other words that I'll use, but I'll just use bitch for now because she is just such a just ew. Listen, I want to say so many other bad words, but I can't. So like she's just gross at this moment. I felt like this is very like again throwing a tantrum here of how she eliminates Dickson. I want to get to your guys' thoughts because I don't want to taint you with my rants that I'm about to get through here. But what are your thoughts on her making the good deal and then taking Dickson out?
Bad deal, bad move.
Yeah, I didn't like. Well, we're biased, so I didn't like it.
We are biased, yes, 100%.
But I still don't think it was good for her game because
no.
CK is not with her, and supposedly CK is close to Parvati from what these exit interviews are saying. So,
but we can see that closely too on the island that Parvati and CK, you know what I mean? They keep kind of trying to pinch each other a little bit.
So if you want to hurt the family by taking out one of their very close allies and keep a family member that actually is putting out a lifeline to potentially work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we may be biased, but I feel like this is the facts and that she really made a move that's bad for her game. So
well, my rant's going to be all about bias because I don't care. I really don't care. I am Mama Bear coming out like pissed off. Like you guys have done this to me for a couple weeks now. I'm telling you right now, you are disgusting filth yet again, Letty. Like go F yourself because you literally are just too emotional in this moment. Like grow the hell up. This is like literally the teenage girl being told that she's grounded and can't go to the dance, and she goes and like upstairs and like slams her bedroom door like that's gonna change the world. You like just how she like Dickson, I said I was gonna do it, so I'm doing it. Bye. Like sit down in your ugly ass dress that like nobody cares who you think you look good and shit. No, like it's disgusting, and she's disgusting, and she's an absolute trashy bitch, and I hope she loses. So,
wow.
Fuck you, Letty.
I was not expecting that.
God.
If this is a short, I'm so screwed. My family's gonna come for me for all the profanity. I'm so sorry.
You think Letty is John Locke right now or Shannon? Like, geez.
I can't. I don't have time or the energy to deal with grown ass adults acting like children. I have 2 children of my own. I deal with children all day. Like, I don't need to sit there and watch you act like a freaking child throwing a tantrum on TV. Like, that's exactly what her and Philip are doing, and I'm so over it. I do not care. Like, nobody cares here. And if you are fans of them and like whatever, fine. I don't care. Come for me. Because you can be biased too. You can be Philip's family, Letty's family, CK's. I don't care. If you think that they're acting appropriately, then you're a problem too. You're a problem too. You all should go to therapy. Maybe take some, like, read some parenting books or things like this. Spank a child. I don't care. Whatever you need to do to get this, like, to show that this is not acceptable behavior. Because this is acceptable when you're 2, not when you're 22, 20, 32, 42, whatever. This is ridiculous. This is gross. Okay, rant done.
I'm agreeing, but like, geez.
The law.
Rant complete. I just don't have time for, like, come. That's Listen. This is just like you and like us 3. Say we go out to dinner, and this is the waiter bringing us a chicken meal instead of the steak meal that we ordered, and us just sitting there going, "Huh, I didn't get my way."
Oh.
This is what this is happening. That's verbatim what's happening on the island right now.
Yeah, I see.
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm so gonna get comfort.
We're getting canceled, so there's no way around it.
Oh my god. Listen, Jake, you've already fired certain people that deserved it, but I might be up there. I might be getting dessert. Oh god.
Let us know in the comments what you thought of that rant.
Are we firing Kristin or not? What's happening to the comments? Again, I will say this because I feel I'm not one of those fans that like goes on and like on a Twitter, Instagram, like comment section where you're just being horrible to these people. Like, I don't know you. This is an edit that we're getting. The edit's not doing you favors. So like maybe you should take it up with NBC. But this is all of my feelings about how you are from an edit. I'm sure you're lovely people. Probably not. But I mean, the truth is in the pudding. But I'm just judging by an edit. So if you are a very nice person, let's have a conversation like adults. I will not slam the door like certain people on Dondi Island here. But yeah, like, edits are edits. And I'm sorry if your edit gave you shitty time, but here we are.
Oh my.
I'm actually a nice person, I swear. I'm just like,
all right. Well,
you didn't know from the last couple of weeks, but I am a nice person.
well, so I mean, anything else to take from Dickson's exit interviews? I mean, I watched his after show with Boston Rob. We did get some tea from unseen footage. He also apparently kissed Letty. So, all right.
Yeah, it was, from what it looked like, it was more like a dare. Like, everyone's laughing about it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, Dickson, stop kissing girls, especially Letty. Gross. No, listen, all I have to say, and then I know we're going to talk about the last thing that happened before the episode ended. Again, we've said this several times. The bias is there. We are not trying to hide the bias. Like, we are friends of Dickson, have been friends with Dickson for many years here. I'm just going to say I'm completely and unbelievably proud of Dickson. I think he did an amazing job. It was so fun to watch him. So fun to see the chaos that I've also played with and have seen go on to this island with a bunch of random strangers. Chaos on Deal or No Deal Island. Yes, I will quote that forever. Thank you, Dickson, for that. But also thank you for all the times that he's been vulnerable, like in the show and giving his story here. It's not easy to do, and I definitely cannot be more proud or more grateful that he got to have this, a dream come true for him. So on to the next show, Dickson.
Yeah, hopefully another good show. So
this man on Big Brother. Oh my god, we'll have a summer full of fun.
I know, with the live feeds too.
Oh my god, I could not. I would laugh so hard. Please, 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 CBS, hear me out. Don't listen to this other rant that I just did. I'm actually a normal person. Please put Dickson on Big Brother.
Oh my.
It would be good if the producers watched this podcast.
They do not. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Let's
if you're here, welcome. But yeah, no, I mean, again, like just it was very cool to see a friend be on TV, and this was a great moment. I'm sad that it was cut short, but very
for
fun to see.
sure. Yeah, like I said, I really like I did not think he won. I of course wanted him to win. I just didn't think he won, but I thought for sure he was finale.
He made finale week. We'll give him that. Or, I mean, I would assume it's finale week because we have a final four. So,
Right.
like, or do we? I don't know because the banker calls at the
No.
end. Like, let's get to our last moment here. The banker calls at the end with an ominous message. What do you guys take away from this banker's last call as they're walking out of temple?
Well, I mean the TV guide episode descriptions spoil what's happening here for the next few episodes.
Oh, good job, TV guide.
So yeah, next episode's a double elimination, which I feel like they said that in
They
here.
did say it was a double.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So the finale will have 3 people. And then the interesting part is it said there is a thing in the final 3 where your past mistakes come back to haunt you. So it really sounds like a jury feature.
Oh,
Which is ironic considering last week we were talking about
We were talking shit.
this is not the game that has a jury, but
Well, here's how I mean, we know that this isn't Survivor, right? So like jury maybe, but this will be my prediction because we all know I suck at predictions, so it's probably not true. But my prediction on this is that it's gonna be like maybe like vote for advantages towards like in
yes.
the talent.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
I don't think it's a vote for a winner. I think it's a vote for
no, I mean not to go off on a parody spinoff of Survivor, but Total Drama Island did this where they gave an advantage to one of the final 3 and that person got to use that for the final challenge. So
also stop. Like it's already luck based. Like just stop. Like
Yeah.
God.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, the double easily could be. I think Philip goes here in the double.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, as far as the other one, I think it's either CK or Letty or Parv.
I think it's CK or Parvati.
Yeah.
I feel like Letty would be in the final.
I've thought since the beginning she's in the finals. So
Yeah,
I'm
I think she
sticking
is.
with I think she's in the finals with David for sure.
Yeah, I could see them, I guess, being, I mean, if it goes from 3 to 2 in the finale, I think it's David versus Letty. So,
Yeah. For sure. Well, I mean, this is more of a shorter one just because, well, one, we don't want to talk about anybody that's not Dickson, and 2, there wasn't much here. It was, again, like we said, it was a character development kind of episode. We had little bits in here and things here, but I mean, is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we come to a close here?
Shane?
I think I'm good. Sad,
All right.
but good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited to finish this with you guys. I think, so we got next week and the week after. Sounds like 2 episodes, not
I
just
think 3 episodes
3.
actually.
Okay.
So I think they're gonna split the finale into 2. So maybe Final Temple will be its own thing because
Okay.
from
Yeah.
what Joe has said in his interview at the beginning of the season, it's something.
Yeah, it seems like it's
They
gonna be
said it's like the craziest thing in reality TV history. I would be interested.
Well, I mean, the amount of money already is just insane. So,
Yeah.
I mean, crazy, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we'll be back to finish that off together. Obviously subscribe and stay tuned. We got Traders finishing up this week as well. So Austin and I will cover the finale of that. And hopefully we can maybe talk to Dickson at the end of this. And
Yeah.
so we'll figure that out. But definitely stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.